Are you ready?
You're listening to DJ Oz Ozzy.
Would you believe me when I tell you, you are the queen of my heart? Please don't deceive me when I hurt you, just ain't the way it seems. Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love? Would you believe me when I tell you, you are the queen of my heart? Please don't deceive me when I hurt you, just ain't the way it seems. Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love?
Hello, hello. We are live from the Hive. I hope everybody can hear us all right. Looks like my mic's spiking, so I sure hope so. But hello, it is my birthday today, and I have my friends joining me for my birthday, and we're celebrating, including Purple, Stephanie, and Mage, Wolf. And thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. Actually, I haven't done anything exciting today. I had a doctor's appointment and stuff, so this is about as exciting as I get, is getting online and hanging out with you fine ladies and gentlemen. So I'd like to say hello to everybody and give a shout out to the people in the side chat too. We have Don Porco, who looks suspiciously familiar. We have Aunt Jur. Hello, Aunt Jur. We have Spooky Bed here. There's Stephanie and Purple in the side chat too. Julie LaVoice, cool. Good to see you, Julie. I'm glad you're able to make it in this evening. Tsunami's blown in, and looks like Paleo Logos was riding on her wake. Hello, Peter. Lena's here. Hello, gorgeous. All right. I think that catches us up with everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I love you, Carol. I see you there. Almost overlooked Carol. I wouldn't want to do that because Carol is a wonderful part of the Hive. So yes. As far as birthdays go, I know a lot of people who grew up in religious households didn't get to celebrate them. So when they join this atheist community, sometimes it's the first time they get to do it. For me, that's not the case. My parents were pretty agnostic about everything, and I had birthdays and every other holiday, and Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, all that good stuff. Did you all have mythical creatures that came and visited you when you were children?
Yes.
Well, Santa and the Tooth Fairy, yeah.
Yeah.
No Easter Bunny, though?
Yeah.
Easter Bunny, yeah.
We had an Easter Bunny. That's why we'll never eat black jelly beans.
Oh, were the black jelly beans the ones the Easter Bunny is tricking you with? Or
the brown jelly
bean. I was never going to trust little black pellets that were left by a rabbit.
Oh, that's good stuff. Thank you. I'm glad you guys could join me on this July evening. My birthday is almost in the dead center of summer vacation when I was in school, because summer vacation was run from Memorial Day to Labor Day, right?
Yep.
And my birthday on July 14th was like so I think it's between July 14th and July 15th, like would be in the middle there because it's an even number. But anyway, I always knew my birthday had arrived. Summer was halfway over. I haven't done anything yet. Have you all been doing anything? I know I see Stephanie's been getting some sun.
Sailing.
I try to avoid sunlight.
I've been getting the sun with having to walk Molly.
Yeah, you got that big garden to take care of too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm having to get a lot more sun now because with my van down, I've got to take the buses.
Yeah. All right, so I got a couple of things I wanted to talk about, and I have a short little video I'm gonna do we're gonna watch. I think you guys will enjoy it. You should enjoy this. It'll be just a moment. I gotta make sure. Ooh, it sounds like it's thundering outside.
Well, you were claiming on Twitter that you're 40, and I'm not buying it.
I am 40. Definitely 40.
Nope. I suppose you're also going to claim that's purely coincidence that your birthday falls on a non-binary awareness day.
Oh, that's neat. I didn't know that.
There's a thing and claim there.
Let me know if you all can't hear, because the way that this transfers over when I do it through OBS gets a little buggy.
That we intuitively believe that Neanderthals
You hear it?
were primitive.
Sounds fine.
Okay, let me start it over again.
Why is it that we intuitively believe that Neanderthals were primitive?
I covered this guy before. Ken Colson.
We more than likely think that Neanderthals were primitive because we've been led to believe that they possessed primitive traits. Neanderthals, in contrast to modern humans, had thick brow ridges, a large jaw, a slope.
I don't know about primitive. They're more basal to
Yeah.
within what's a hominini or hominini. They're more basal than ours.
Forehead and robust teeth. Since similar features are found in apes, and since apes and humans are thought to share a common ancestor, then we are often taught that these features are primitive. Even Richard Owen, a 19...
So they, I don't think that at least not anytime recently that anybody has made the claim that that Neanderthals are our direct ancestors or that chimpanzees are. Oh, that's like a creationist straw man, right?
Well, like cousin.
Well, I don't think anybody said so recently, but back in the 70s, that was fairly common to hear.
And we are apes.
The Neanderthals were our ancestors.
Yeah.
I know we are apes. Well, Neanderthals are apes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in school, they were saying that Neanderthals were, quite likely a direct ancestor.
We do for a little bit in us European types.
19th century anatomist and a creationist fell foul to such an interpretation. Speaking of the brow ridges in non-human primates, Owen says, it may be concluded...
It's funny that the reason Owen says this before he gets to paint his picture of it. The funny thing about the reason Owens wanted Neanderthal man to be the ancestor of all man was because it was found in Europe where white people live, so that they could claim dominion. He was an ethnocentrist, right? He thought that white culture was just the cream of the crop. So if anything leading to man rising from the primordial soup would have to happen in Europe for his worldview to work. He did not like out of Africa. Anyway, he's thrown quite a few monkey wrenches into history as well, but there's a statue of him. He is revered too. I mean, there's like the way that we reconstruct skeletons and things is based on what Richard Owens, a trend that he started with. The first thing, do you all know what the first thing he reconstructed was?
No.
His Thanksgiving turkey.
It's actually you're in the right clade there.
I'm guessing it was some kind of bird.
Yeah, it was a moa, a giant moa.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was the first person to ever fully reconstruct an extinct animal from fossil reconstruction. Interesting little tidbit of history. But let's hear what this guy says about it. What Dr. Colson
that
has
such
to say.
feeble indication of the supraorbital ridge, that's the brow ridge, as exists in man, is as much a specific peculiarity of the human skull as the exaggeration of this ridge is characteristic of the chimpanzee. In other words, the lack of brow ridges is a distinct...
So far, everybody's on the same page. We all agree that brow ridges are indicative of the differences between humans and chimpanzees. That's something that you can point to and say is different between humans and chimpanzees. What does that have to do with the topic that we're talking about with human evolution and Neanderthals, though? Right? So weird.
Something.
distinctly human trait. He even used this logic to reject the then burgeoning idea that humans and apes shared a common ancestor. One only wonders what he would have thought of the first Neanderthal skull, which was described in 1857. And this idea is still around in popular culture today. Since 1857, when the Neanderthal remains were found, the prominent ridges above the eyes, which were claimed to be an exclusively ape-like feature, have become symbolic of early man. And unfortunately, even in the sciences, the use of the supraorbital torus as a species-specific taxonomic trait has continued to the present. A supraorbital torus, by the way, is when the brow ridges connect.
Why does it keep buffering? I'm sorry, my connection's getting messed up
I don't
from the
know.
storm.
I was wondering if that was on my end or if everybody was seeing the
No,
buffering.
Yeah, everybody's getting the buffer.
it's storming
I
here.
gotta jump, but I'll be back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Happy
can hear you.
birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll see you later, Stephanie. Go have fun.
To make a single feature. As it turns out, very large brow ridges, sloping foreheads, large jaws, and big teeth can actually be found in modern humans. Consider the skull of this man who only recently died in about the 1850s. Notice the prominent brow ridges and the lack of these ridges in the generic anatomical model that we're all familiar with. Notice also the sloped forehead, which rivals even that of the Neanderthals. The robust jaw and the size of the molars in comparison to our generic skull are also quite different. In fact, this particular skull even...
So, what are the, what did he say this middle skull, the middle one here was from the 1870s?
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
And then this is supposed to be the model skull they use in like anatomy classes and stuff. And he said that that's more... I don't know. I've looked at photos of people from the 1800s that were taken, photographs that were taken, and there's no... hold on just a sec. Hey, Midnight.
Oh, happy birthday.
Hello.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But I don't see pictures of people or any paintings of people even from before that where they had brow ridges, right? Like prominent brow ridges. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway.
I
Don't know
can't
anything
see that there'd be any significant change over just a couple hundred years.
I don't know anything about this particular skull he's pointing out, so
Yeah. I'm kind of familiar with the one, the white one, because we had them in our biology class, and we passed it around and learned about it and stuff. But good times, right?
possesses a slight protrusion of the jaw called prognathism, a trait that once again is commonly associated with primitiveness. The length of the upper palatine and maxillary bones in comparison to those of the generic model really bears this out. As it turns out, some modern humans even possess an almost complete supraorbital torus. Now remember, that's the name given to the brow ridges once they connect into a solid feature. And keep in mind that some paleoanthropologists, even today, they still use a complete supraorbital torus as a species-specific trait that's indicative of an evolutionary past. Clearly, however, these features are not primitive. Certainly, they are rare in modern populations, but they're not primitive. So what is the purpose for those brow ridges? Well, it actually depends on who you ask. This paper suggested that the lack of...
Let's see, Richard Miguel Godinho. Uniquely with respect to Middle Pleistocene hominins, anatomically modern humans do not possess marked brow ridges and have a more vertical forehead, with mobile eyebrows that play a key role in social signaling and communication. The presence and variability of brow ridges in archaic Homo species and their absence in ourselves has led to debate concerning their morphogenesis and function, with two main hypotheses being put forward. That brow ridge morphology is the result of the spatial relationship between the orbits in the brain case, and that brow ridge morphology is significantly impacted by biting mechanics here we virtually so biting mechanics. I'll let him talk.
Brow ridges is related to social cues and associated with eyebrow movement. But I think the best explanation comes from this paper, which suggests a biomechanical solution. Essentially, the very strong muscles attached to the mandible and the temporal region of the skull work to pull the sides of the skull down, while biting tends to push the midline of the skull upwards. This combined action promotes bone growth in these areas.
I've never paid attention to when I bite something if it moves my forehead. We do it so y'all can see. I don't feel nothing moving in my eyebrow. Maybe a little bit.
Well, he's saying the middle of the forehead, and I'm definitely not feeling anything moving there.
I can if I put my nose into the bite. But I only do that when there's a big old piece of watermelon or something I gotta bite into, you know? You gotta put your whole face into it. Because you gotta commit to a slice of watermelon. You don't just like nibble on it. You get a slice of watermelon, you take it outside first of all so Mom doesn't get mad about you making the mess on the floor or on the table. Because it's gonna be messy. Take it outside, you eat that watermelon. She got a slice of watermelon for my birthday.
I wonder if it would be any different, like if you were biting down on a piece of meat and like trying to pull it to rip a hunk off.
Yeah, like our soft human jaws from cooking our food made it so we didn't need big old brow ridges anymore.
Yeah.
Which can even occur during adulthood. Supraorbital development appears to be an adaptive response to net bending over the eyes that can take place even during adulthood if biomechanical conditions change. In other words, our modern obsession with soft, tender, and overly cooked meals may well have changed the very appearance of our skulls. Now,
I swear I did not look ahead on this video. This is watching this with virgin eyes. Cooking our food made our eyebrows smaller.
from
Well, I
a
know from other
creationist
things I've read, they've
perspective, the presence of
speculated about
prominent brow
that.
ridges may even have adorned our
Not that it had anything to do with the brow ridges, but just that, you know, because of the cooked food, that we don't need as
Yeah.
strong a jaw as our ancestors did.
Yeah.
first parents, dependent as they were on a plant-based high-fiber diet, which would require greater levels of bite force and longer periods of mastication. As it turns out, there are more than likely a number of different variables at work in the growth of these brow ridges and in the development of other cranial and jaw-related features. But the presence of these so-called ancient traits in modern humans should at least cause us to think twice before we assume that these traits and their presence in ancient peoples be interpreted in terms of Darwinian evolution. Of course, that leads to a few interesting questions. What are creationists to make of so-called primitive peoples like the Neanderthals, and what did Adam look like? To find out, please make sure to watch part 2, which is coming up soon. So that's all
Oh, there's going to be a part 2 where they're going to tell us what Adam looked like, guys.
from me, Ken Colson, here at Creation Unfolding. Please go ahead and pound that like button.
This was just
if you thought
came
this
out
video
10
was
hours
interesting. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for easier access to more videos as they pop up. There's a website, www.creationunfolding.com, for more resources. I've got a book if you're interested. There is a donate button, which is now in the description, if you're so inclined. And look, the greatest thing that I think you can do is pray for me. So if you can spend just a few seconds and pray for me right now.
No, I'm not going to do that, but I will ask you a question, though. I asked him if Adam cooked this food. Everybody's gone quiet.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Sorry for the awkward silence.
I was
You-
distracted by Kitty Cat.
It's pouring outside. I'm going to close my windows. You all chit-chat, okay?
Apparently it's going to start raining here in the next few days.
Yeah, we could use a lot more of it here. We got a bit last night, but didn't last nearly long enough.
So I
For some
don't
reason-
really. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, for some reason, all of our storms just keep going just slightly south of us, like 50 miles south of the city.
You were saying?
No, I was gonna say I don't know anyone on here except Bree.
That's me. Well, that's how you talk and get to know people.
Yeah,
Midnight.
well,
No, I'm Mage. It's purple above me.
Hello,
Hey.
Midnight.
Hello. This is Midnight.
yeah, it's only 9:30 where I am.
Midnight's,
No,
Me
it's
too.
me. Go ahead.
it's Midnight's kind of a troll though, so just be careful. Anyway, I didn't know it was going to storm tonight. I hope this doesn't put a damper on the evening. That was all I had. I had something else here, but I don't know if you all would be interested in reading about the St. Helena manatees. Do you know what that is?
Cool.
St. Helena manatees?
It's not big enough for Cryptic Corner because it's kind of just like a small, simple topic, but it's really weird. There was this allegedly. There were here. I'll pull it up. It'll pull it up on the Cryptid Wiki. That'll be fun. Here we go. Oh. All right. So, Helena manatee. The Helena manatee, also known as the manatee of Helena. I don't know why I was saying Saint Helena. I guess it's because it's the name of the island. Is a supposed species of manatee from the island of Saint Helena in the Atlantic Ocean, about halfway between the continents of South America and Africa. The island was supposedly populated by a large number of manatees during the days of colonization. The manatees are said to behave like seals, being semi-aquatic and coming up on land several times. There's no evidence except for eyewitnesses, of which there were only 2 known reports of sightings, but all have ceased. Sirenians are really susceptible to extinction events too.
Well, the regular wiki here says it may have been a misidentified elephant seal.
Yeah, it's the next section here, or walrus. While it is entirely possible that the manatee species could have adapted to remain semi-amphibious, it is also possible that the species or rogue group of walruses was once found on or around the island. Walruses would have not been as known. Many people write these things so terrible. Sight amongst travelers in the area, and their fat bodies could be mistaken for manatees, especially if those seen were young and or particularly tuskless. With this in mind, the walruses would have to have had traveled a great distance to reach St. Helena, as they are not normally seen much further south than Scandinavia. More likely, the creatures are possibly misidentification of either sea lions or southern elephant seals, especially the latter, as the species once bred on the island. So, yeah, that's the lore. I like reading it from the cheesy cryptid wiki instead of going to mainstream. I like to first pull out the most extreme example of what people are reporting. I want to first listen to the other end of the telephone game, to the start end, and then work my way back to reality. That's how I do Cryptic Corner usually. Anyway, gives you a little bit of build up to it.
I really should watch more of those. I like this cryptid stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it. That's why I keep doing it.
Yeah, I usually don't get to watch them when you're live, but I watch them later on.
Yeah. And don't know. See, this will lead you to the main wiki here, like you were saying. Southern elephant seal. seems reasonable. Here's a write-up on the two sightings. But yeah, I mean, so manatees don't live in open water, right? They live in tropical regions around islands and like bayous and things like that.
The
Estuaries.
yeah, the bay, my grandmother's backyard, had used to have manatees in it. In fact, there's like
Yeah.
the still marked for as a manatee zone. We have to slow down. Though
Yeah,
we haven't seen any for a while.
they come up there and graze.
Yep.
I've seen manatees haul out though. I don't know why they're acting like that's not known. Because hold on, I'll show you a video. Eating grass. Hold on. Yeah, people don't know this and just assume that. Hold on. And just assume that it's unheard of for them to do this behavior. But check this out.
Huh.
Yeah, looks like it's just coming up because it likes that kind of grass.
Yeah.
Well, I
I don't
suppose
blame it. If as far as grass goes, like that looks yummy, right? Probably the smell of that because it looks like it's freshly mowed. The smell of the lawnmower,
Yep.
probably like, I smell the good stuff being shot out here.
I suppose
so-
that's the source of the cryptid.
Manatees hauling out to eat people's lawn clippings.
Yeah.
I wish I could see a manatee.
I saw him at a zoo once.
What? You never see Brad Keane?
Oh, not that manatee. Gross. He's live right now. Bet your buddy Will's gonna be over there.
Likes that grass.
I wanted to eat that yellow dandelion and it never does. It's just like it's like, boom! Right before he gets over there to eat it, yeah, there's Brett Keane live.
Well, by the time the flowers come up, the dandelion leaves have thorns.
Yeah, but the flowers are supposed to be delicious.
Yeah, a lot of animals like them. They're also good for making wine, but you need a hell of a lot of them.
Yeah.
Decent tea too.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a Gurr in my live chat. Why don't you come hang out on somebody else's channel for a minute? It's my birthday, Gurr. Come on.
Speaking about alcohol, I usually have a glass on Fridays, and tonight I'm drinking Kraken Black Label rum.
Woo! That would knock me off my ass. I am drinking Absolute Watermelon vodka and
Well, I raise a glass to you for your birthday.
strawberry lemonade.
I should step away a bit and get something. Well, I normally drink whiskey. I may get into the vodka tonight.
I was considering vodka tonight, considering I have some orange juice in the fridge.
Yeah, you can make a screwdriver.
I've got some kind of fruity soda in the fridge, and I think it might work with the vodka.
Most things work with vodka if you're dedicated.
Well, the vodka needs something especially sweet.
Yeah, that's why I like
Actually, you were talking about the watermelon. What's really good is cut a hole in the watermelon and stick a bottle of vodka upside down in the watermelon.
that. Yeah.
Let it sit that way for a couple hours before you slice the watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've done
I
I've taken,
just might do that, even though I'm broke. So
Yeah,
I
we
can't
used to
afford
do that
vodka.
for parties.
what I've done is I've taken frozen chunks of mango and put it in champagne instead of using the ice.
Yeah, I've used frozen strawberries or frozen chunks of pineapple that way.
The pineapple would work too.
Oh, you can cut the watermelon in half and pour. What do you do? You cut a slice down the middle of it and you pour the Jello shots down it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And you have to. It's like a drinking game. I don't know if they do. I like Jello shots though.
I
haven't
got
had
so
it in
fucked up
years.
one time because this woman was trying to flirt with me, so she
Yeah.
kept feeding me Jello shots.
Yeah. What
Those-
flavor Jello shots? Were they green Jello shots? Those are my favorite.
No, they were cherry.
I need some green Jello shots, people.
those rummy gummies are pretty good too.
Well,
I do have. Shoot, no, I don't.
if it wasn't quite such a long drive, I've got all the stuff. I could make them for you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drive for you to get all the way down here, madam. And it's
I know you're
storming.
somewhere in Illinois. I'm not sure where.
Yeah, I'm about as far west in Illinois as you can get.
Yeah, I grew up in the Chicago suburbs, so that's the only part of the state I really know.
I'm on the opposite side of the state of Chicago. But I could ride the train from here to Chicago, all the way, for
That'll
pretty
be
cheap
cool.
too.
We have to take a trip down there at some point. It's on Sloth Girl's bucket list to go back down and see the museums in Chicago.
No, girl. Kyle Hill is Discount Thor. He says it himself.
No. I didn't expect to feel so freaking tired, and it's the rain. I swear, it's making me sleepy now. Of course, the pot probably doesn't help.
Yeah, that'll do it too. Bang in the strain.
I wish I could find
Yeah.
something that would put me to sleep.
Well, it stops the screaming in my brain.
Yeah, I could use that a few times. Still waiting for it to be legal here.
Apparently, I've only got to wait a couple more weeks. I think August 1st it's supposed to become official. The governor
gonna-
signed it like 2 months ago, but it hasn't kicked in yet.
Is it going to be warm enough for manatees up here soon?
I don't know.
What do you think? You think we need some Mississippi manatees?
Could we have manatees in the Great Lakes?
Great Lake manatees. I would, if we keep on the upward trend of every day being the hottest day ever,
Yep.
then maybe. What are we going to do about this planet? What are we going to do about the kelp forest? We need those. You know those things like there's places where it's 95% gone? These huge kelp forests. And we don't like harvest them or anything. They're just the ocean's too toxic for them to live in. And they're a giant carbon sink, so they're
Yep.
not sinking our carbon.
Well, the same thing with all the coral reefs dying off.
Yeah, the bleaching and acidification.
Yeah,
It's no
the
joke.
rise in ocean temperatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, they found that only like a 1.5-degree rise in ocean temperatures can kill a coral reef.
Yeah, it's cold water reefs are suffering too. And people don't even think about them. They only think about tropical reefs. But the reason why we say tropical reefs is because there's cold water reefs as well that are a little bit
Yep.
different. And just as cool and just as weird. And sometimes you'll see photos and videos of cold water reefs with clips mixed in with the tropical reefs, but people, I guess they're not, cold water reefs really aren't as brightly colored, but they're still as weird, and I think they thrive deeper down in the ocean. Let me fact check that because I don't like saying things that aren't true.
But I think you're right that they don't get, they don't get as wide a variety of different life forms, and they don't get the really brightly colored fish.
The habitat of deep water coral reefs, also known as cold water coral, extend to deeper, darker parts of the ocean than tropical corals do. Yeah. So, you have to like go deep down to see them, but they're like fascinating once you get down there. Like when you see, I don't know, anytime they're exploring the midnight zone, especially when they get down where humans can't survive, and they see some of the weirdos that live down there.
Yeah, tsunami, it's just different species of coral thrive in different temperatures and slightly different environments.
Well, as long as you're not going down to see those coral reefs in the Ocean Gate sub.
Yeah, that would be. Or in trying to do it in Orca territory and around the around Portugal. Yeah, that was an interesting news week, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Orcas.
I'm still worried about the orcas around Gibraltar there, because yeah, historically it's never turned out well for any other species that got in our way.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like they're making a special effort to not hurt the humans. Just tear the rudders off so their yachts won't go.
Yeah, but they're ruining my joke about what are the rich people are going to do if they're attacked next when you have to buy a new boat when the old one gets wet.
Yep. I'll tell you, the orca that started this, that White Gladys, I hope she's teaching them to stay away from boat props, because that's what's causing all the havoc for our manatees that we were just talking about a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's the reason why they have the slow zones in that one area. Most people didn't listen to them.
Do orcas attack manatees? That's an interesting.
Well, orcas
question.
will eat seals, so I would think that they probably would go after manatees.
I'm not sure if they are in the same areas, though.
No, I don't think that they ever cross over territories. But I'm saying if they happen to find one.
Yeah, I imagine they would if they came across one.
But manatees share have to have alligators, though. They have sort of symbiotic relationship where they live together in the Everglades.
Yeah, I never quite understood how that worked. It seems the manatees are so defenseless that how did they keep going?
Like it's like crocodiles and hippos, except for in reverse, I guess. But manatees are huge. People underestimate how big manatees are. As big as hippos, so it makes it hard for anything. It's really you don't have to have any defensive capabilities if you're just so massive that nobody can overpower you, and no one can get their jaws wrapped around your big fat belly.
Yeah, I've seen manatees in real life.
Yeah, they're huge, aren't they?
Yeah, I've even got to feed them before too. That's fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Were they really huge, or were they more like cow-sized?
About maybe a little bit bigger than a cow.
Smaller than a hippo?
It's smaller than a hippo.
Yeah.
There were a couple at the Moat Marine lab, and we got to go into the area. It was like a special area that they kind of let everybody in. We had to do some special thing with stepping into some liquid, so we didn't track anything in there. And there was a museum around here that had Snooty the manatee. Unfortunately, Snooty died, and he got stuck. There was like an opening between in his enclosure, and he got stuck in the opening and drowned.
Aw, that sucks. Poor Snooty.
Yeah.
I wonder how long a manatee can hold the breath for. How long before they need to surface?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna look that up too. I just typed in how long can, and it said manatees hold their breath. Thank you. What's Google? So that's Bezos. Listen, only 20 minutes? Wow. I figured it'd be longer than that.
Yeah, I would have expected they could have stayed down for like an hour.
Yeah.
But I suppose they're in shallow water, so they don't really need to
Yeah.
stay down that long. You know, if they just want to graze along the bottom and pop back up for air.
Yeah, they live like a lifestyle of a snorkeler. They're just like right below the surface, just kind of bobbing along.
Yeah, I
Don't
was
go
thinking
down.
it's kind of like the sloth thing that, you know, maybe because they move so slowly, most other things just don't even identify them as being a threat or bothering with them.
Yeah. So they could like they could share some convergence there because sloth ancestors were starting to get a little aquatic there for a minute before the big extinction event wiped them out. So they could share some convergence there as the reason they returned to the sea. Because I imagine that sloth was probably feeding off the same kind of water foliage that these manatees are, right?
Yeah, actually, before seals evolved, sloths filled a similar niche.
Yep. Yes.
Sloths filled a whole bunch of different niches for a while there.
Yeah. Sloths were like multi-tools for the New World.
Yep.
You had big giant browsers that did like the same roles as giraffes and rhinoceroses, and you had ones that did the same role as elephants and hippos.
They actually are surprisingly good swimmers even today. They can actually swim about twice as fast as they can walk, which I know isn't saying a lot, but it's still faster.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Well, that's one of my main arguments against the Ark now. I calculated it out, and for a sloth to get from Brazil to the Middle East, swimming nonstop would take him 40 years.
40 years. That's how long Moses wandered in the desert. You think that's just a coincidence there, Purple? Conspiracy. You all want to get in on the conspiracy, right?
Yeah, I think we should make up some new conspiracies just to see somebody else try to debunk them.
Well, tomorrow on the show, I'm actually got a new conspiracy that's cropped up that I fell headlong into all day today and didn't get enough work done because I kept playing new clips of different people analyzing it. But you'll see that tomorrow. You have to watch live from the Hive, 9:30 a.m. Don't miss it. Gotta find out.
Yeah,
the new
that's asking me
conspiracy.
to get up awfully early for a Saturday.
Yeah. You can just watch the shows later in the evening.
That's usually what I do. I wind up watching them after midnight when everyone else is asleep.
Well, I'm usually awake during that time, but I have my cartoon watching ritual during that time.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking to the live chat, not the panel. When I say tune in live from the Hive to find out, but I can't tell you guys either because that would ruin it for the
Yep.
panel too. And the panel needs to. Thank you, Captive Dax. Thank you, Dave. Sloth Moses liveth. I actually found a horror comic called Slowpoke that was about killer sloths. I thought about buying it, but I don't know.
Slowpoke?
Mm-hmm. It's called Slowpoke. It's about killer sloths.
Okay, well, I never did get my drink, so I'll be back in a minute.
All right. Well, now there's just the three of us. What do you guys say? We just take another drink?
Yeah, no drink.
Well, I really don't have any drinks with me here. I just have water, so.
Also good, if you're drinking alcohol, keep a glass of water next to you as well. And try and drink equal amounts of alcohol and water, and you won't get the effects of the dehydration the next morning.
It's not.
Here, while we're waiting for Purple to get back, let's do this.
Not the frequency itself, but it's the behavior of that frequency that's caught my attention.
It really does kind of sound like communication or someone trying to dial something in. You know, when you run across and you get that on an old transistor radio?
Yeah.
This signal, it bounces back and forth, and I don't know what's going on. Could it just be a natural phenomenon based on the geography and the geology of
Okay,
this?
I clicked on the wrong video. Hold on. Ah. Not this again. Hey, gorgeous. We're watching the manatee eat grass again. I didn't mean to.
Well, it's a cute manatee.
Yeah, it's worth it. If you're talking, you got yourself muted. I can unmute ya. Can't unmute guests because they chose to mute themselves. Oh. She's in the side chat, the private chat. I can hear ya.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, beautiful. Look
Hello.
at this manatee here, manatee here, there. I can't get enough of it. What was I trying to click on? I can't even remember. I don't want to click on anything live. There's lots of stuff to choose from. This is Dennis Hoven's feed, so he's got all kinds of weird interest. We could watch ourselves. Scientists hunt for alien implants.
That's the way.
What a loss. What a loss.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly not as fun to
They're
go to
watching
conventions.
Coast to Coast
and,
AM.
The whole field is poorer without him, for sure. He was
Yeah.
one of the most knowledgeable individuals in this field I've ever seen.
Wasn't he involved in some kind of car crash which may have contributed to his untimely death?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he...
I wonder if the car crash would contribute to the little pieces of metal inside his body. That sounds like it might be some correlation there, huh? Like when there's shattering glass and metal all around you. Just a
Oh
thought.
my god, can you get car shrapnel?
Yeah, when you're in a wreck.
He was not in good health when I knew him. His circulatory system was shot. I'm not sure why. Maybe too much fried food or something earlier in life. But in any event, he was not in very good health. But he was, in well enough health. He was well enough to go to conventions and do the research and such. But he had a car crash about 2 years before he died that led to a downward spiral of his health, and he got shingles right after that, and then got a bad ulcer on his ankle that would not heal.
Jeez.
And he eventually ended up having to have vascular
Guy went
surgery
through
to
some
get
rough
it to heal.
times.
And he dodged a bullet
Yeah.
on that one, and it did finally heal. But then only a few months after that, that injury finally healed up after he had the surgery and everything. He dropped a book on the ankle of the other leg, which led to another serious wound that would not heal and eventually got infected. And they were preparing to do vascular surgery on the other leg when he died of an apparent heart attack.
He was a great guy.
Yeah, it was.
We miss him a lot. How did you first meet him?
That sounds like an
I first
immune
met Dr.
system
Lear when
problem.
I was working
Yeah, right.
about maybe half a mile from his Camarillo office, and I had always been interested in UFOs and thought his research was fascinating. And then I knew that he worked only a few blocks away, and thought, oh, it'd be fascinating to see some of those implants. And I never thought I would actually get to.
And he was a podiatrist by trade, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And my ex-wife and I
did
had
a
a lot
stream
of
about this a while
strange
back.
happenings.
What's his name
especially after
again?
we had children, that led me to believe that we were having some abduction activity. And I'd had missing time experiences before that I told her about.
Roger
before we got
Lear is who we're
married,
talking about. I remember now.
She
It's all coming back to me.
told me that she'd been scanned at night by what it was, I would think, probably a hologram.
They call him the alien surgeon or whatever. He does like alien autopsy or alien implant, not autopsy, but alien implant removals for people and stuff. He tells people to have alien implants. I don't know, but they just look like little pieces of metal under their skin or embedded in their bodies in places, which can happen in a myriad of ways.
Graham said it looked like a large piece of metal up on him, like a piece of sheet metal that went slowly from head to toe on her, and it had colors coming out of it, and she said it looked real pretty, but she said that she started getting scared and tried to wake me up, and the second I started waking up, it turned into a red beam of light and shot out the window, and she also had red triangular marks on her abdomen and such during a couple of pregnancies, and
wait a second, did I hear that right, that the implant had like beams of light coming out of it and stuff?
I thought he said it turned into a beam of light and shot away.
Yeah.
So the implant's gone?
I think that's what he's saying.
Is that the implication?
Yeah, that it shot out the window or something.
Sounds like a wicked dream.
Anyway, we had all stuff like that happen, and then one night after the birth of our daughter in February of 2008, I was in the house alone. I had to water the plants and such, and it got late, and I got tired, and she was over at her mom's house, so I said I was going to just spend the night in it.
That sounds just like me again, to water the plants and get tired. My daily routine.
House alone.
Smoke some plants, water
and,
some plants, tired.
Yeah.
I saw these two huge raccoons out in the yard, and one was about 70 pounds. I didn't even know they got that big, so...
You did not see a 70-pound raccoon, sir.
No, I don't think so.
I watched the animals for a while, and they seemed semi-tame, and I fed them some cat food and then went to bed. And I woke up in the morning about 8 o'clock and felt kind of hungover and had kind of a bruised feeling on the side of my head and a stinging sensation in my toe, and there were 2 puncture wounds on the bottom.
I stand corrected. There was a raccoon that people kept in captivity named Bandit. That was the fattest raccoon. He weighed 75 pounds. But if you look at him, if you look at good old Bandit, no, it's not sharing. Hold on, I gotta switch screens.
I wouldn't have thought they could get even half that size.
Oh, since you like looking at stuff from coast to coast, I recommend looking into Mel's Hole and the whole tumor seal thing.
I did Mel's Hole just a couple.
Oh, you did that one?
Uh-huh. Yep. Look how like hefty boy that this is. Look at that.
That's so
yeah,
cute.
when he was saying a 70-pound raccoon, I was thinking it was like a baby brown bear.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what they could have been seeing, but that's the big fat raccoon.
That's unhealthy.
Yeah, it's like having a cat that size, right? Why would you let your animal get that big? That's poor animal ownership. Poor husbandry. I don't know. I guess it'd be considered husbandry with raccoon. Just speculating.
I don't know. Do you have a marriage license?
Y'all want to watch more of the Coast to Coast? Or should we switch to something else? I am open to suggestions.
Okay, I'm not. Who is this that joined us while I had stepped away?
It's Tsunami. She's this gorgeous and sassy and brilliant and funny lady from... She's usually in my side chat, and she's also on
I've only
Twitter.
seen her in the side chats before, so I didn't know what she looked or sounded like.
You should follow her on Twitter, too, because she posts funny stuff, and she...
No, my
super
Twitter
cool.
is just horrible political ranting.
I'm following her on Twitter.
Okay. Good, we're all connected.
Bottom of my toe, and each of them lit up bright green under ultraviolet light. And I didn't remember anything consciously at the time, although I remembered consciously some stuff about aliens before, but this time I did not remember anything consciously, but I just knew that they'd been there during the night and that I had 2 more implants. And so I thought, well, I've got to investigate this somehow. I mean, this is just something I can't ignore anymore. I was kind of in denial for a long time because I didn't have any real evidence, but I thought, well, this might be just the evidence that I would need to say one way or the other whether this is real or not. And so I scheduled an appointment with Dr. Lear a couple of weeks later, and just told him the first visit I just told him I had a foreign body in my toe, and he told me to come back and see if it would go away, and I came back the next week and told him it was about a possible alien abduction, and I don't think he believed me at first, but he told me to.
Was he into that at that time?
Yeah, he was into that. He started in 1994, before my time in the project.
He's been doing it for a long time. What am I doing here?
And I guess they broke up around 2002 or thereabouts, and I came on board about 2008.
I clicked away on the wrong screen.
In any event, he gave me a prescription to get the toe x-rayed, and said to give a copy of the film to the patient. And I knew that I just knew, had a gut feeling I was going to see something on the x-ray film, but when they gave me that film and I looked at it and I saw something, that changed my life forever. I mean, it's one thing, it's quite different to strongly suspect that you're being...
So, has anybody here ever experienced sleep paralysis?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah, a couple
once.
times a year.
It was a very weird experience.
Yeah. I did too. But it was, I actually got what they called the hag, is what came and visited me.
I never had the hag.
What's the hag?
It's where you have sleep paralysis and then you see like a hairy little figure waddling towards the bed.
Oh,
or sitting on top of you.
I'm sorry, Bree. I won't do that to you again.
Aw.
I have seen this thing. It kind of looked like I don't know if they've ever seen the sequel to Hellboy, where that one guy who's like made of mist.
Oh, I love Hellboy.
Yeah, I saw the sequel. I saw that walking across my living room when I was in sleep paralysis.
I can certainly understand why people, could think that it was a demon or an alien visitor.
Yep.
Yeah.
The human brain is insane, and Bree will be the first to tell you that.
Yeah.
And the first time it happened to me, there were two people trying to tell me to get up.
Yeah, were they actually telling you to get up, or you?
Yeah, they were actually saying get up.
So they witnessed your sleep paralysis.
Yeah, no, they were part of the dream I was having.
Okay, so they weren't really there.
No, they weren't really there.
So yeah, but you had cheerleaders. They're like, you can do it.
Yeah. That was the part I hated most about the sleep paralysis, was that I couldn't even alert the person laying right next to me that something weird was going on.
Yeah, there was somebody in the bed with me when I got hagged, and you couldn't breathe. Like once it gets up to you, you can't breathe anymore. And I don't know. I don't remember ever reading about it before. Is the weird thing about it, but I had to have inferred it from something for my mind to build that same imagery of this ragged little creature wanting to suffocate me in my sleep.
Well, the not being able to breathe is a common thing, and that's why a lot of people, have felt it was a demon sitting on their chest that was preventing them from inhaling.
A lot of people will be like, oh, I said this prayer, or I recited this incantation or whatever, and it went away. But, based on whatever faith they have, this will work.
Yeah, even when you know what it is, when it's happening, it's still terrifying.
And that gives them the mind over matter sort of thing,
So is sleep paralysis caused by sleep apnea combined with waking up and not being entirely out of REM sleep or something? What?
Yeah,
what
I think
causes it?
That would even be a. There's not a lot of research that into it because it's so spontaneous. It seems spontaneous. I'm sure there's aggravating factors that put you in that state. But for the best that I could explain it was, it was like being what they call a hypnopompic state. It's where your brain's still asleep, but your eyes are open and you're witnessing the world. But in a normal hypnopompic state, you're not necessarily paralyzed, but you can encounter like dream stuff that's not right. Things can be off or not right.
You're basically awake but still dreaming.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like related to the issue when people sometimes they go to get anesthetized for surgery and they're awake basically during surgery. Like I wonder if that's somehow related to that.
Possibly.
I think I woke up during getting my wisdom teeth removed, just for a minute though, and they put me back under again. But it was pretty bizarre.
They wanted to just numb me.
What's that?
They just wanted to numb me for getting my wisdom teeth removed, and I requested that they put me under. And I'm glad too, because the guy told me afterwards in the follow-up checkup, I was the hardest patient he's ever had out of that type of surgery.
Oh, so at least you were asleep for it.
Yeah.
Quite another matter to know for sure.
What did this implant look like?
It looked like a bent piece of wire on the X-ray, and it looked smaller on the X-ray than it turned out to be in reality, surprisingly enough. And there's a picture of it. There's an X-ray picture of it on that paper I sent you, and in the paper where it talks about the John Smith implant. I referred to myself for a while as John Smith about this.
Probably was a bent piece of
wire.
wire.
I did not want to.
Sounds
go
reasonable.
public about it immediately.
Right, no, I understand.
I must have analyzed it rather than an abductee as well.
Well, I was thinking
Now,
maybe one of the technicians' hair got in front of the camera
When I
lens.
met Dr. Lear, it was in 2003, and he was conducting a implant removal out of a woman who had some kind of object in her cheek. And, every time he got close to her mouth and the cheek, it would move. He had a heck of a time getting it pulled out. But he finally did.
I heard part of that show. That was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, and I was just interested in everything
Like it was
he
trying
did
to avoid
after
getting
that.
removed.
Now,
That's weird.
In your particular case, was he ever able to analyze what they were?
Yeah, we did an extensive analysis on my implant and the Ron Noel implant. That was the patient number 16 implant that came right after me. I was patient number 15. There's several types of implants, but the most common type is a metal core with a surface of.
My only question is Dr. he's not alive anymore, was he grifting off of people actually believing this was true? Or did he actually believe the things that he was removing from people's feet and stuff were alien implants? Because he's a podiatrist. He started off to doing this strictly about feet, right? About removing stuff from people's feet. I imagine you, out of the parts of your body that get this stuff removed from them, your feet are probably number one. And the only thing I can think, it might, maybe your hand, fingertips or something.
What seems to be like a mother of pearl or a bone or a biological hard part over that. And there's probably enzymes in that this is speculation at this point, but there's most likely enzymes in that lead to the blood plasma or plasmas in the proteins rather in the host body turning into a black electrically conductive membrane that goes around the object. And nerve cells grow into that. There must be chemical cues in it
electrically
for
conducted membrane.
nerve cells to grow in it, nerve growth factor and such. And in any event, proprioceptor nerves grow into that membrane. And on some of them, the membrane is substituted by.
All right, I'm gonna switch it up and let's find something else. Let's see what else is on Dennis's feed here.
I definitely feel like those implant people are maybe just sticking stuff in themselves.
Yeah.
And it's an implant.
Like somebody stabbed him with a mechanical pencil in 3rd grade and a piece of the lead stuck up into their skin.
Well, it's not hard for things to get stuck in you. I mean, I'm looking at this one story of a baby who possibly ate a feather and it got get into the cheek, and eventually it came months later. It came out of out of her cheek.
On the other side?
Yeah, on the other side.
Worked its way out.
Yeah, the body worked its way out.
That's pretty cool. It's your
Like
body
a splinter.
Yeah, like a splinter.
Well, usually your body will work it out, but yeah, there's a lot of cases of people who have had something lodged in there for years.
So I imagine something like a piece of metal or something getting into a cut or jabbing into you, you're not noticing it, sit there for years.
Yeah, that's what I would think. A bit of wire or a splinter of metal. That, it could have been from an accident that happened a couple of years earlier that they had forgotten about, but, then it had started to work its way out, so it started being irritating, so they went and had a doctor look at it.
And possibly they didn't even know that got in there in the first place.
Let's see. U.S. Insider just sent out this message about disclosure and told Americans to get ready. You guys ready? Everybody here American?
Sadly.
Oh, you're all commies?
Chuck Schumer is currently being hailed as a hero for pushing a new legislation to declassify government records related to unidentified anomalous phenomena and UFOs. Senator Chuck Schumer, who holds the majority leader position in New York, is advocating for a bill that aims to establish a commission empowered to declassify government records related to unidentified objects. The primary intention behind this effort is to compel the government to disclose its comprehensive knowledge concerning unidentified phenomena. The measure provides an opportunity to counter the spread of theories regarding...
So far, every time that they've done this, every time they've released the hidden tapes or hidden documents, it's always been like, yeah, we saw a weird light. We don't know what it was. Same thing as like pedestrian UFO sightings. There's nothing. There's no more meat to them than there is to Cousin Billy's sighting. They're really generally in the videos are what you are of the grade and quality that you would expect from someone's homemade or home captured UFO footage. So I'm not convinced. I haven't been convinced by anything yet.
Unidentified objects and address concerns about the government withholding important information from the public. The proposed legislation, which will be presented by Mr. Schumer as an addition to the yearly defense policy bill, has support from both Democrats and Republicans, including Senator Mike Rounds from South Dakota and Senator Marco Rubio from Florida. Senator Rubio has been a strong advocate for legislation that prompted the government to disclose a series of reports on unexplained phenomena. It is also probable that there will be support in the
moon
House.
bases and stuff.
As part of the yearly defense bill, the chamber recently added a more limited provision that would compel the Pentagon to disclose...
Is there a secret moon base that they're going to reveal? What do you guys think?
And being from Florida, I apologize for Marco Rubio.
Yeah. It's not your fault. Did you vote for him?
No.
Information on unidentified objects. Different governmental branches and agencies hold conflicting opinions on the terminology to be used when referring to unexplained sightings. Although the government has decided against using the term UFOs, there is disagreement regarding whether the appropriate terminology should be aerial phenomena or anomalous phenomena. The Senate proposal establishes a timeline of 300 days for government entities to arrange their documentation on unidentified incidents and submit them to the assessment committee. President Biden will nominate a review board consisting of 9 individuals pending confirmation from the Senate. According to Senate staff members, the objective is to assemble a panel that will advocate for transparency while safeguarding confidential methods of intelligence gathering. The fascination with unidentified objects has long been prevalent, but it has intensified further following the release of a series of videos showing...
That's the Pentagon videos they're talking about, right?
showcasing unexplained occurrences captured by military sensors. Additionally, naval aviators have recounted perplexing incidents experienced during their training missions, contributing to the heightened interest in this subject. Some of the videos released by the Pentagon have been explained as optical illusions or drones, but others remain unexplained and the object of much speculation. Under pressure from Congress, the Pentagon and intelligence agencies have gathered hundreds of reports of unexplained phenomena. Officials have said most of the unexplained incidents are airborne trash, Chinese spying efforts, or weather balloons. American officials have repeatedly said that none of the videos or other material they have collected appears to be evidence of advanced visitation. It is a challenging task to determine the exact number of unreleased documents present in government archives. Government intelligence agencies claim that they have already released all the available material. However, their Freedom of Information departments constantly receive numerous requests for unidentified flying object-related information, only to find out that the archives have already been made public. According to sources close to Mr. Schumer, government agencies, including the Pentagon, have conducted undisclosed work that remains unpublished. This lack of transparency from certain agencies has caused frustration among lawmakers from both political parties. To illustrate, numerous task forces within the Pentagon have extensively examined videos captured by naval aviators and other military personnel, which have been kept classified. Certain portions of these videos have been made public, such as during a recent NASA gathering. There are instances where officials suspect that divulging certain information could expose the capabilities of classified optical and sensor technologies. However, for cases where no definitive findings have been reached, officials have been cautious about sharing details regarding their discussions and hypotheses. The hesitancy to disclose all available information pertaining to the unresolved incidents has sparked never-ending conjecture on social media, television programs, and public discussions. Under the proposed legislation by Mr. Schumer, the President would have the authority to postpone the disclosure of specific information selected by the Commission due to national security reasons. However, this bill aims to set a definite timeline for the release of documents and formalize the assumption that such material should be made available to the public. According to Alison Biasotti, a representative for Mr. Schumer, there will now be a procedure in place to declassify this material. Government authorities have consistently stated that they do not possess the wreckage of a crashed, unidentified object or any artificially created substance originating from beyond Earth. The question of why the United States government, along with many other governments worldwide, would withhold information about unidentified objects or unidentified aerial phenomena is an intriguing one. The primary argument for governmental secrecy on unidentified objects revolves around national security. Governments typically classify information that could expose sensitive military technologies or operations. Given that military personnel frequently report sightings during exercises or deployments, governments may worry that disclosing such encounters could inadvertently reveal classified defense capabilities.
I am excited that they're going to release all this stuff. There's a lot of things that are going to come out. That's great, but my expectation is that there's not going to be like any definitive UFO evidence.
Yeah.
Or strategic operations. Moreover, the unknown nature of these aircrafts presents a potential threat that governments may prefer to study quietly, avoiding public panic or exploitation by adversaries. Additionally, governments might fear that publicizing information could cause public alarm or societal disruption. The idea that unidentified craft are regularly entering our airspace without detection or deterrence might cause distress. Furthermore, the potential advanced origin of these craft, though not confirmed, could challenge many people's fundamental beliefs about humanity's place in the universe, leading to unpredictable societal reactions. Maintaining international relations might be another factor. Publicizing encounters could raise geopolitical tensions, especially if these incidents occur in sensitive regions. Governments might avoid discussing such issues publicly to prevent diplomatic incidents or escalations. On a scientific level, this phenomena often challenge our current understanding of physics and aeronautics. Governments might hesitate to release information that could disrupt scientific paradigms or cause controversy within the academic community. The reputational risk to the scientific establishment might deter open discourse about anomalous aerial phenomena. Lastly, bureaucratic inertia and the
Yeah, I like these artwork too, Lena. It's,
I'm pretty sure this stuff is AI generated.
Yeah.
potential embarrassment
A lot of it looks AI generated.
of admitting the lack of knowledge or control over these phenomena might also play a role. For decades, government bodies like the US Air Force have publicly downplayed the phenomena, attributing sightings to prosaic explanations such as misidentified aircraft, weather phenomena, or hoaxes. Reversing this stance could be seen as a loss of face and an admission of a lack of control over national airspace. In recent years, the stance on this topic has shown signs of change. The US government, for example, has become increasingly transparent about its investigations into these aircrafts. The disclosure of credible information regarding the existence of unidentified objects or unidentified aerial phenomena would undoubtedly have profound implications for society. From a scientific perspective, confirmed knowledge of these aircrafts would trigger a seismic shift. The existence of technologically advanced, potentially non-human craft would spur an unprecedented need for new research. It would redefine fields such as physics, astrophysics, and aeronautics, necessitating the development of new theories and models to explain these phenomena. This disclosure could also inspire a new generation of scientists and innovators driven by the desire to understand and possibly
And it'll also inspire a generation of sci-fi writers.
replicate the advanced technology of these unidentified craft. Philosophically, disclosure could challenge our most fundamental beliefs about our place in the universe. If these aircrafts were confirmed to be advanced in origin, the knowledge that we are not alone would resonate on many levels, perhaps even encouraging a sense of planetary unity or a shared human identity. It might prompt us to reconsider long-standing beliefs and worldviews, opening up new horizons in areas like philosophy, religion, and spirituality. Socio-culturally, disclosure could lead to significant shifts. The knowledge of other potentially more advanced civilizations might lead us to re-evaluate our societal structures, values, and goals. It could spur a renewed interest in space exploration and stimulate investment in science, technology, and education. However, this revelation could also cause unease or fear, given the uncertainty surrounding these entities' intentions. As a result, governments might face pressure to invest in planetary defense and new forms of diplomacy. Economically, disclosure could have both positive and negative consequences. On one hand, it could stimulate growth in various sectors such as aerospace, technology, and education. On the other hand, the initial uncertainty might negatively impact financial markets or lead to economic instability, at least in the short term. In terms of governance and international relations, disclosure would present new challenges and opportunities. It could foster unprecedented international cooperation as nations collaborate to understand and respond to this shared reality. Alternatively, it could exacerbate geopolitical tensions as nations compete to exploit the new technology for strategic advantage. However, it's important to note that societal reactions would likely depend.
What's that?
I don't see it fostering international cooperation. I see whatever country happened to get hold of the alien tech trying to use it to get a leg up on everyone else.
Yeah, probably.
And on the nature of the disclosure. A gradual release of information that confirms unidentified aerial phenomena without confirming an advanced origin might have a subtler impact. In contrast, a sudden dramatic disclosure confirming extraterrestrial life would likely have far-reaching and immediate societal effects. As of right now, the societal implications of disclosure are broad and profound, extending to nearly every aspect of life. This potential future reminds us of the importance of continuing to investigate these phenomena, not just to satisfy our curiosity, but also to prepare ourselves for the significant changes that such a disclosure might entail. As the discourse on mysterious aircrafts continues to evolve, it will be crucial to consider these possible implications and foster a societal dialogue on this fascinating subject. So, What do you make of these recent announcements? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below. And
in the comment section below, guys. All right. So, I think I'm probably going to wrap it up here. I'm starting to get a stomach ache from something I ate for dinner. This doesn't seem like it's sitting well with me, but, you know, you never know until you try. I did plan on doing this for longer, but, yeah, with the way my belly is feeling, I think wrapping it up here is a good place. We're just, like, right before an hour and a half. So, I will be...
Sorry you're not feeling well.
Oh, it's just indigestion feeling. I just, ugh.
Oh, finishing up already?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for joining, though. I'm glad that we were able to crack open a couple of these videos that weren't big enough to be their own segment on Live from the Hive. So thank you guys for diving into those with me. And yeah, to everyone watching out there live, remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time.
Good night, all.
Later.
Are you ready?
You're listening to DJ Oz Ozzy.
Would you believe me when I tell you